Good afternoon. Happy Victory Monday, Niner fam. How we doing? It was a hawk hunt yesterday in Levi Stadium, and the 49ers cooked, souffled, and ate those birds once again. Second time in 3 weeks. But it did come with a little bit of a cost. As we know, there were some 49er injuries yesterday. And today, I want to go over them. Kyle Shanahan met with the media a little while ago. He had a conference call, as he usually does on Monday, and he had a lot of updates for us. So here we go. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about Victory Monday. I'm going to let you guys ask some questions, and we'll get right to it. So first and foremost, let's get to these injuries. Again, there was some updates from Kyle Shanahan today, and those are the things we want to talk about because a lot of people have been wondering about Mooney Ward. A lot of people have been wondering about Javon Hargrave. So, we got to talk about it. How are we doing, faithful? Shout out to everybody that's just coming into the chat. How is everybody doing today, man? Happy Victory Monday. It's a great Victory Monday, and it's been a very phenomenal couple of weeks. Victory every day. I mean, when the 49ers are on a winning streak, it feels great. LA Dodgers says, am I going to the Arizona game? I will be there. Team Cali says, what's up, faithful? So let's get to the injury update. So first and foremost, the update of the day is that Mooney Ward, Charvarius Ward, who had a groin injury, and Javon Hargrave, who had a hamstring injury, they both avoided serious injuries, and they both have a chance to play versus the Cardinals, according to Kyle Shanahan. So that's good news. The 49ers, they had two big-time players that left the game. Again, Mooney Ward, a groin. Javon Hargrave had the hamstring injury. Those are serious injuries if they would have been really, high grade of strain, right? But luckily, Kyle Shanahan said that they've avoided a serious injury, and they do have a chance to play on Sunday against the Cardinals. Now, just off my first gut reaction, this is the first time I'm actually talking about this injury today. I think both of those guys should be rested. I don't want to sit here and say that we could beat, the 49ers could beat Arizona with a bunch of players rested. But if there's any week where you can rest players, this might be the week because the following week after that, the 49ers have a knockdown, drag out battle with the Ravens on Christmas. So, again, it is good news for them that they avoided serious injury, but we don't like to hear any type of injury. So, yeah, that's the news today. Charvarius Ward and Javon Hargrave both have a chance to play Sunday. They avoided serious injury. So, it is good news, right? So, in the sense, like, we don't like injuries at all, but in the sense of being good or bad based on injury news, this is as best as you can get. So, yeah, it is great news. People are saying in the chat, T Money says, happy Victory Monday. Happy Victory Monday, T Money. Team Cali says, good news. LA Dodgers says, I'll see you there. Hopefully, we can get a picture. Hopefully, we can, man. It's going to be fun. I've never been to a game in Arizona, so I'm looking forward to it. T Money says, should we just rest them to have them 100% for the Ravens? That's my train of thought. That's what I'm thinking. But that's just me. But at the same time, you can't take any team lightly. So again, you never know. They might have a chance to play, and if they can, they're going to strap it up and do the best they can for the team. But at the same time, I agree that maybe rest them because you don't want to cause a minor injury to become a serious injury, kind of like what happened with Debo and Brandon Ayuk earlier in the season. So something to kind of keep an eye on this week. We'll monitor that situation. Practice begins Wednesday, as we know. Day off today, day off tomorrow, back on Wednesday. So the other injury news is that 49ers linebacker Oren Burks will miss a couple of weeks with knee tendonitis. So he has knee tendonitis. That's tough. But Oren Burks is a great special teamer. He's a good, backup linebacker, good depth type of guy. He's going to miss a few weeks. Kyle Shanahan didn't say exactly how much, but he is going to miss a couple of weeks. That does give Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles a chance to kind of step up. And also the 49ers have really good linebackers that they drafted. Young Bucks, D. Winters, right? Jalen Graham. So two guys that could step up maybe if they have to answer the call. But I think, of course, they're going to go look at Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles over Oren Burks first because he's kind of the next man up in the pecking order. But, if there's one area where the 49ers don't necessarily need too much help, or too much have to worry too much is linebacker. That's where they have a lot of depth. Now, we don't want any serious injuries to any of the other linebackers, but this is an injury that I feel like the 49ers can make up and be able to absorb. But Oren Burks definitely is a very good special teamer. Tough to see him out for a couple of weeks, but it's better to have these injuries now than later. We need him down the line. He's a very good special teamer, and he's a good underrated type player on the team. Like, he just kind of goes unnoticed. But I like Oren Burks. Good player, solid guy. He's a good addition to the roster. Furthermore, Dre Greenlaw now is day to day with an ankle and hip injury. So day to day, going into this Sunday game, tough. Dre Greenlaw, I think he'll play. He's always a guy that's kind of nicked up, and he plays so hard. He plays like 1,000% on the field. So this is a guy that gets some bumps and bruises along the way because he's so physical. But he is day to day. We'll see how this guy progresses through the week. Again, this is a guy that is just so aggressive out there, and I'm sure that on Mondays he's feeling the brunt of all the physicality. So we'll see. I think Dre Greenlaw, again, day to day, we'll kind of see how this goes. We don't know how practice is going to be on Wednesday, so we'll keep an eye on the situation. And then the other big injury news is Arik Armstead is expected to miss Sunday's game against Arizona. We all know he's dealing with the foot and the knee injury. Kyle Shanahan said this last week that Arik Armstead probably won't play for the next 2 weeks, and this was last week. So this is no surprise to me, Arik Armstead missing this game. They need to make sure that Armstead is 1,100, 1,000, wow, whatever you want to call it, 100% ready for the Ravens and the rest of the season. So Arik Armstead, don't expect him to play Sunday against Arizona. But, of course, we just got to make sure that these guys are very healthy and ready for the playoffs. So my man Dodger says they'll all be good coming playoffs. Absolutely. Let's see. Susan says, off topic, but does anyone else notice when we play the Seahawks, the camera's on Pete Carroll the majority of the time? So annoying. Yeah, I was rewatching the game, so I watched it from the stands yesterday. But when you watch the telecast, they like to show Pete, man. I don't know. I don't know if the media loves this guy's face. That is kind of true. Rick says, it's Monday. How about the Niners? Nice hat. How about the Niners? We got this old school beanie. It's cold outside, so I felt like wearing a beanie. I picked up my daughter from school and made sure that kept the head warm. Then I had to, when you're outside and it's cold, keep the head warm, The secondary is got control line. Let's see, Roger, the 49ers secondary got a control line, protect the ball. The Pies stop the run. Yeah, and that's what the 49ers did. They controlled the line of scrimmage, and they put pressure on the quarterback, and they didn't make mistakes. It was a very, a good win for the 49ers. Defense is playing very good. I mean, Steve Wilkes is this defense playing out of control lately, and it's good to see. The defensive line pressure has been tremendous. We see Nick Bosa going crazy, and the secondary is very much benefiting from all the pressure up front. We talked about Randy Gregory and Chase Young and all these guys. And, shout out to guys like Javon Kinlaw and Kalia Davis, who we talked about yesterday, really stepping up. And all that pressure on the quarterbacks helping the secondary. And, look at Lenore, man. Lenore strapped up DK Metcalf. And, Ambry Thomas strapped up their receivers, and Mooney Ward was out. So guys had to step up. And, Jair Brown, rookie Jair Brown, he was the highest graded player on the 49ers defense, the entire defense. He was the highest graded player. Gotta love it. Rookie, balling out of control. So Kinlaw season, says Alex. Kinlaw's been tearing up, man. Tearing it up. A couple other, what we want to talk about, Brock? We'll talk Brock. Let me get through these injuries. So that was the second list of injuries. We talked about Mooney Ward. We talked about Javon Hargrave. Those two guys have a chance to play Sunday. Talked about Oren Burks. He's going to miss a couple of weeks with knee tendonitis. Dre Greenlaw, day-to-day with an ankle and hip. Armstead is expected to miss Sunday's game against Arizona. And finally, the last injury update of the day is the 49ers expect Spencer Burford, Darrell Luter Jr., and Elijah Mitchell to return to practice this week. Those guys are all coming back, so little depth pieces, here and there. Elijah Mitchell running back too. He's a solid player when he's healthy, and he'll be back. Darrell Luter, good young rookie cornerback who's flashed some potential. He'll be back this week in practice. And Spencer Burford, starting right guard, will be back. I think John Feliciano has done a very good job playing when he's needed, and, he'll be able to play in case Spencer Burford is injured or can't go. But it's good. We have Spencer Burford, and now we have Feliciano. The right side of the line is getting better, and they have good depth. So that's good news in terms of injury news. And then finally, the 49ers officially announced that they signed cornerback Jason Verrett to the practice squad. He's officially on the team. Official. Jason Verrett is on the team, 49ers practice squad. So you love to see that. That's pretty cool. Jason Verrett back with the squad. Love to see it. Charvarius Ward and Javon Hargrave again have a chance to play. We'll see what happens. But if Charvarius Ward can't go, maybe they'll call up Mooney Ward. Maybe they'll call up Eric Harris again. They have depth. They have Logan Ryan. What the 49ers have done has been absolutely amazing. They have great players on their team, starters, but you just never know what's going to happen with the injuries. And in terms of injuries, you want to make sure you safeguard it with depth. The 49ers have done just that. So love the fact that they're stacking the depth. So those are your injury updates for the day. And, if you have questions regarding those, let me know. We'll try to get back to them. But I think that's pretty much it. We covered that. Those were the big ones we wanted to kind of cover. And, moving forward now, we're done with Seattle week. We are moving on to Cardinals week. Another bird. 49ers are just eating up and carving up that bird, huh? Now, let's talk about Brock Purdy, shall we, says the LA Dodgers. If you really don't think Brock Purdy is the MVP, you're crazy. And today, Trent Williams, he basically kept it as 100 as you can. Trent Williams said basically, if you watch the film, it speaks for itself, basically. And, he put down everybody that is doubting him in one quote. He says, just turn on the film. If you say he's just assistant quarterback after that, then I question your football knowledge. He says, I'll question your football knowledge. You got to love it, man. Brock Purdy is the absolute gem of the NFL. This guy, look at the stats, man. Check these stats out. Brock Purdy has 3,553 passing yards on just 359 passes this year. That's insane. That really is. He has the 17th most attempts, and he's number 2 in passing yards. He's averaging 9.9 yards per attempt, which is the highest average by any passer in over 65 years. 65 years. Nobody's done this. 9.9 yards per attempt. Everybody says he dinks and dunks. This guy is throwing the ball deep. I mean, yeah, sometimes he'll throw a short pass and then the receiver takes it deep. But a lot of these passes are past the sticks. They are first downs. They are 10-yard passes. They are deep passes. If you actually watch the game, he's not a check down merchant. He is throwing it deep. Like, there's so many times where I'm like, okay, Brock's throwing it, and he throws it right to the first down marker, or like it'll be an out route to the sideline. It's crazy. He is throwing the ball so efficient. And again, 3,553 yards on 359 passes. That is crazy to me. That to me is just wild efficiency. That's what it is. He's efficient. He gets the ball where it needs to be, and you gotta love it, man. And check this out. This is from NFL and CBS. The highest pass rating in NFL history with minimum of 500 attempts. Brock Purdy, 113.8. He has the highest pass rating in NFL history right now. Among all quarterbacks, number 2 is Patrick Mahomes with 103.9. And number 3 is Aaron Rodgers with 103.6. But all time, Brock Purdy has the highest pass rating in NFL history. Now, I know it's a small sample size. He's still got a lot of way to go, but that is incredible. Debbie makes a good point that Kyle trusts Brock so much. He trusts him, and he's letting him air it out. He's letting him do his thing, Alex says it's annoying. People call him check down merchant when the stats and the films are there. People just love to hate. They do. They love to hate. They want to argue it, and they hear that. They hear people say it. They think it has to be right because the media says, oh, check down merchant. Oh, all he does is do this. They're not watching the games. I guarantee you they're not watching the games. If that's what you say, they're not truly watching the game. He is our franchise quarterback, Geraldo. Team Cali says MV Purdy. MV Purdy. LA Dodgers says, I don't get why people doubt him. He does his job and he puts out his stats. I feel more comfortable with him behind center compared to Jimmy Garoppolo. I think pretty much 99.9% of the fan base. There's always that 0.1, but I think 99.9% of the fan base will agree with you. I mean, I'm not worried about quarterback. I'm not, it's refreshing to wake up every morning and your quarterback situation is handled. There's no drama. It feels great, baby. Like, in lack of a better word, you know what? The one thing I could say is it feels great. That's it. It really does. The fact that we have a franchise quarterback on this team And every day we don't have to worry about it. And the team loves him. The players love him. It's great. Let's continue with these stats. Look at this. Brock Purdy versus the Blitz this season. He's number one in yards, 1,529 yards. You blitz him, he's going to throw the ball and be efficient with it. 9.9 yards per attempt on the blitz. 14 touchdowns against the blitz, number one. 127.9 rating, number one against the blitz. Look at this. Real quick, we're going to recap that again. Brock Purdy versus the blitz. He has 1,529 yards. That's number one in the NFL. 9.9 yards per attempt against the blitz. It's number one in the NFL. He has 14 touchdowns against the blitz. That's number one in the NFL. And he has a 127.9 rating. You guessed it. That's number one in the NFL. That's crazy, man. He's second in the league in passing yards, and he's 17th in passing attempts. It's crazy. He has the most games with 100-plus passer rating since 1950. Patrick Mahomes has 14. Brock Purdy has 12. The only two to have anywhere near that, Dan Marino had 12, and Kurt Warner had 12. Those two guys are Hall of Famers. So, again, Kurt Warner and Dan Marino had 12 games straight with 100-plus passer rating. The only guy that had more than Brock Purdy, who also has 12, is Patrick Mahomes, and he had 14. He's so good. He's so good. He's so good. He's so good, guys. He's not scared. I agree. I love Brock Purdy. He's doing great. He's doing amazing. I mean, it's the MVP in my book. If you really look at his statistics, how can you doubt him? He's putting up these stats. He's the one throwing the ball to the playmakers. They're blitzing him. He still gets the ball out. You want a deep pass, he'll throw the deep pass. You want a short pass, he'll throw the short pass. You want him to scramble, he'll scramble. He's not just a check down merchant. He's an everything merchant. That's it. He's an everything. He does it all, man. He does it all. He's the guy. He is the guy. And what else can you say, man? What else can you say? He's the MVP. This team would not be able to win many games without Brock Purdy. And you can sit there and there's people that say, oh, you put this quarterback, and they could do this. No, it's not. You can't. You can't do it. It's amazing. Alexander says, Purdy is our guy. The Niners have shown he's the future. It's crazy how he is not even making a lot of money yet. He might be the MVP. He's on that 7th-round rookie quarterback contract. $890K, I think. Something like that. It's not even $1 million. Shohei Ohtani makes more than him after 3 games. Although he deferred his contract, got the Bobby Bo type deal. But, yeah, unbelievable. The guy's a humble king. He knows he can continue to get better. The media is going to keep on pounding him, and he doesn't care. He just keeps rolling with the punches, man. This guy's it's just a breath of fresh air. This guy's been great. So, yeah, shout out to Brock Purdy, man. Everything he does has just been great. I love it. I mean, again, for years and years and years, we sat here and we're like, oh my God, the quarterback situation is Trey Lance going to start? Is Jimmy Garoppolo? Oh, they should do this. They should do this. They should cut him. They should trade him. Oh, maybe they should sign this quarterback. Every single day, every single night, every single week, every single month, it was quarterback this. Oh my God, are we going to get a quarterback? We should draft a quarterback. They should trade for a quarterback. Oh, Deshaun Watson. Oh, Matt Stafford. None of that, man. We got Brock Purdy, and I'm loving it, So, gotta love it. Haters gonna hate, man. But if they were, that's the thing. People that aren't Niner fans and see what's been going on over the last couple of years with this team and the quarterback situation, not even the last couple of years, the last couple of decades, the 49ers quarterback situation has just always been so murky and it's just never had stability. Now you see this. If you're an outsider looking in, you don't understand it. But when you've been, in the heart of this fan base and been watching this team for years, you realize, man, Brock Purdy is different than everybody that's been able to put on that red and gold jersey in a long time, right? That Niner jersey as quarterback, he's different from a lot of these guys, right? We had Jeff Garcia, and he was a Pro Bowler. And after that, man, it just fell apart. We didn't have great quarterbacks, and Alex Smith came, and we all had high hopes, and it took him a while to kind of get where he needed to be because they had different coaches, they had different offensive coordinators. It just didn't work, So, the 49ers, they definitely have hit they've hit the nail on the head. They figured it out. They just found their guy, and it's refreshing. So I love Brock Purdy for that. And again, like Debbie says, Love the no drama. That's the biggest takeaway. There's no drama. No drama, baby. No drama for your mama or your grandmama. So good stuff, man. Let's see. Any other questions, concerns? Let's take a look at the chat. How's everybody feeling today? It's Monday. We got 2 games to take a look at tonight. Monday Night Football. So, David McNiner. What's up, David McNiner? Shout out to my boy. He says our quarterback is pretty good. Truth is, he's young and getting better. Exactly. He's only 23. Sky's the limit, right? Christine says it's nice to have him as a 49er. My man Shades says almost at 2K subs. We are almost at 2K subs on the YouTube, man. Appreciate you guys. We've been pushing the content. We've been trying as hard as I can to get more, to get better at YouTube and do this. But, I do have a lot of work and other things going on. So I've been trying, but we're pushing it. And I appreciate everybody that subscribes to this channel on YouTube, man. I know there's a lot of content creators on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys being here with me. On Instagram, we did big things this weekend, man. We hit 300K, so that's amazing. And I just want to say thank you again if you guys follow me from Instagram. Appreciate you guys. And on Twitter, we're 68 or something like that, 68K. So all the fans, all the support on all my channels, man. It's dope. Big things. 49ers are doing great. And thankfully, because they're doing great, this page and everything else is doing great. So good stuff. My man Dodger says, honestly, all the hate just motivates Brock to play his game every game. I agree. Like, the haters are going to come out there. They're going to trash him up. They're going to throw salt on his game. They're going to say all they got to say. But it really motivates. Like, if I'm getting hated, I don't get mad. I just say, okay, I'm going to get even. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. And you guys are going to be like, oh, man, I hate this guy even more. And you guys, the people that hate, not you guys, but the people that are haters, they look dumber and dumber than if they were to just support. They look stupid because in the end, you pull the receipts and you make people look dumb. So, hell yeah, it's fun. So, the secondary really improved since Wilkes became the defensive coordinator. The secondary has. It took him a little time to get things ironed out. Beginning of the season, everybody wanted this man fired, and I gave him a lot of criticism. But okay, he said, all right, I'm gonna go down to the sideline. I'm not saying that's the only thing that helped it. I think the communication has gotten better. He made the adjustments. He made Ambry Thomas his cornerback, and he took out Oliver. He's just really teaching these guys. And I remember in training camp when I saw him on the field with these guys, okay, he is really teaching them. And I just think it took some time for his philosophies to kind of get through with these players, and then he had to make the adjustments. And also, they got some defensive line help with Randy Gregory and Chase Young. But yeah, shout out to Steve Wilkes, man. He needs a lot of credit because he has really helped turn this team around. Absolutely. So the depth of the defense is going to show itself next coming weeks. Yeah, we really get to see what this defense is made of. A Boogie, I agree. We're going to really see it's put up or shut up. See what they're made of. Can't wait to see how these younger guys are going to step up and play, and even the guys like Logan Ryan and Jason Verrett, if they get any action. Especially Jason, I don't know how much action he's going to get, but they got players, and Sam Womack, he's another guy that's helping out. He's on special teams, and Jair Brown, a rookie, had a hell of a game on Sunday. So young guys are stepping up, and they're not afraid for this moment, and that's what this team is. They got a lot of great young players. They got a great cast of solid veterans, and the stars, and those stars and veterans, they take the younger guys under their wings and they really try to help them succeed. So I love that they have these guys like Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Armstead. They're there to have a shoulder to lay their head on for these younger players, and just to absorb information. That's why they got players like Jason Verrett. That's why they had to go out and get like a Logan Ryan. Like, yes, it's good to have depth, but you also have those guys for the locker room. So definitely nice to have a lot of key veterans in this team, because there are a lot of younger players on this team that are still learning the ropes. And when you have a player that's been there, done that, and they understand what's going on in the league, it helps them. So Dodger says another big question is, how can we clinch the playoffs? So tonight, if the Green Bay Packers lose, the 49ers have clinched a playoff spot because they did their part. They won yesterday. If Green Bay loses tonight, the 49ers officially clinch the playoff spot. But even if they don't clinch it tonight, they can clinch next week as well. So there'll be more scenarios if they don't. But if the 49ers can clinch tonight, it would be great because they're number 1 seed. And, it'd be nice to see the number 1 seed clinch their spot. But again, the 49ers have to continue to keep winning. It doesn't just stop after becoming the number 1 seed. Now we got to hold on to it. They got to win. They got to take care of the Cardinals. And then after that, they got to take care of the Ravens. Ravens are a tough team. And then they got Washington and LA. So a lot of big games coming up. A lot of fun coming up, guys. But the 49ers right now, as the season creeps to an end, they're on top of the NFC, man. If you would have told me this after the 3-game losing streak that we're going to be number one, I don't know if I would have been skeptical, but I would have said there's got to be a lot of magic that happens. And guess what? There has been, So we'll see. My money's on Danny DeVito, said Jimbo. Let's hope. I'm going to put my money on DeVito, too. Team Cali says J.A. Brown could have had 2 picks, but Fred took one away from him. Yeah, they talked about that last night. The Rook, man, got to give him his stats. Give that boy his stats. Give him his cheddar. But, Fred Warner had to do what he had to do, and I love Fred Warner for that. And let's talk about that whole story today. That was the best viral little story that came out of this game. DK Metcalf, right? We know how upset he was. They got in his head. They live rent-free. And DK Metcalf said, the 49ers defensive players, Kyle Shanahan told these guys in a meeting, this is according to Mike Silver, he's around the team. He's usually pretty right. This man said that whoever gets under the skin of DK Metcalf the most, whoever gets him pissed off the most will get a Christmas present from me. I mean, I don't know if he quite literally said that, but come on. That is a hell of a story if he really said that. That's amazing if true. If that's a great motivational tactic. And you could tell these players on the 49ers were just going at him. They were in his head. They were getting under his skin. They were just pushing him, being physical and John with him. And man, this man, DK Metcalf, threw his helmet. He was pissed off. Dodgers says DK really threw his emotions. He went through it. He broke one of the helmet heaters. I love it. My man C says, any chance? Do you know when playoff tickets are being sold? That's a good question. I don't know yet. Honestly, I don't. I've been looking. I don't think they go on sale until they clinch. Once the 49ers clinch, they can go on sale. But it's hard for them to know exactly when, what tickets are going to be here and there. So I'm not 100% sure to answer your question. I don't want to give you any false information. I'll look into that and see what the answer is. So, hey, Boogie says, we got tired of punking Aaron Donald and started punking DK. It's fun, man. It's fun when you're abusing the division players, man. Yeah, I mean, the 49ers, especially Deebo Samuel, man, he cooks the Seahawks. He cooks the Rams. I love when he plays these division opponents because he takes these games very personal. And George Kittle, it's another guy that cooked the Seahawks. Like, yes, I know he didn't have his 100 yards. Yeah, another touchdown. And I got to talk about Brock Purdy and George Kittle connection a little bit more. I mentioned it last night, but this is a combination. Brock Purdy and George Kittle, man, have been revolutionizing this offense together. George Kittle, I feel like he's always been great. We all know how good of a tight end he is. He's been one of the best tight ends in the NFL over the last couple of years, maybe the best tight end in the NFL. But the one thing that people always says, well, he doesn't score enough touchdowns. Well, he's this, but he doesn't score enough touchdowns. Well, this, that. He's not a receiving threat. These last 2 years with Brock Purdy under center, he has been scoring touchdowns in bunches and crunches and munches. He's been scoring touchdowns at a high clip. He had a career year last year in touchdowns. He's on pace to at least tie that rate last year with 11 touchdowns. He's still got 4 games to go. He could score, 5 more touchdowns. The guy's scoring a lot of touchdowns, and that's the one criticism George Kittle has always had. And man, it's nice to see him finding the end zone. Brock Purdy knows how to utilize him on the deep passes, knows how to use them in the red zone. He just has a knack to get the ball to Kittle, and it's nice to see because we know how good Kittle is. How many times have we sat there and said, man, use Kittle in the offense, use him. And now they're using him, and it's great. And he's like not even the first option anymore. He used to be like the top guy, and now he's fourth option, right? Fourth option. So it's great because we know how much Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk are we know how strong those two guys. We know how good their chemistry is. But now his chemistry with George Kittle is something that people forget about. And now if you're going to be doubling up Brandon Ayuk or trying to take him out, George Kittle's wide open. Boom, streak him over the middle. Let's go, touchdown. And that's exactly what happened yesterday. Teams were playing on Deebo. Teams are trying to look for Ayuk, who was open on that play. And he had his choices, but he already knew, I'm getting this ball to Kittle. Drop back, boom, wide open, streaking down the field, touchdown, easy money. It's great to see it, man. Yeah, Myth Vibe says, it's nice to see our offense actually work in the red zone. It does. My man Enriquez says, "Told you I'd be watching you. Bang bang, not a gang." Shout out to my boy Enrique checking out the live. Ariel says Jimmy was always holding George Kittle back. It was infuriating. I mean, he was holding everybody back. But you're right, because Kittle was just like so little. He couldn't catch. He was always having to block. He wasn't doing. I was like so many times. I'm like, just throw it to fucking Kittle, open, wide open down the field. Because a lot of times he'd be running those streak routes, and you can't get it to him if you can't throw the ball downfield. And that was holding our offense back. There were so many times, and George Kittle does it now. I love like the fake. He goes into like he's gonna block, and then he leaks out. Like that is one of my favorite routes. What he does, he comes out, he goes in motion, and then he comes out to the side, and the defense thinks he's gonna prepare for a block. He does a little shake move, boom, and he just routes it up. And I'm like, that is how you use Kittle, and he's wide open, streaking down the field. And Brock Purdy knows how to get him the ball in those situations. So it's fun, man. My man Throwback says, I like when Demo backed up his teammate Fred. Don't mess with my guy. Shout out to my boy 49ers Throwback. I do. I told you guys, like, Diamaro Lenore is gaining a lot of respect between the 49er fans now. This is a guy that wasn't getting a lot of respect, and I've always had a good respect for Lenore. He has good potential, and now he's finally starting to bring all that potential. He's been very physical. He's been playing at a high level, and man, that was a cool moment. Fred Warner and DK getting into it. Diamaro Lenore says, "You know what? Don't mess with my teammate. I'm going to step up and back up my guy." That's a true teammate. So shout out to Jason Verrett for that. It was definitely cool, and that whole sequence was just crazy. That was just another part of how the 49ers were getting under the skin of DK Metcalf. They let him just have it. They let him have it. Demo told Fred, "I got your back." That's it, Debbie. Enrique says, "Tell me you caught Debo flexing, or you caught Debo flexing on him." I didn't catch Debo flexing on them. I caught Jamal Adams. I don't know if you guys saw it. I have the post ready to post. I just didn't get to it. But Jamal Adams, there was a play before the touchdown. So it was like a 5-6 yard slant route. Debo gets it. Defense wraps him up. The Seahawks are celebrating, and they're hyped up. It was a nice little hit by Adams, and he comes over and he's like, "Yeah, okay, I'm that guy." Next play, literally the next play after Jamal Adams. Next play, touchdown, Deebo Samuel, deep pass. That was the big, deep pass to Deebo, and I was like, "Oh God!" And you just see Jamal Adams, and he's like trying to catch Deebo, and Deebo just crushed it. He smoked him. It was amazing. So Andrew Lopez says, DK really unfollowed the Seahawks on IG. Did he really? I heard someone tell me that. Did he really unfollow? Let's go check it out. Let's go see. DK Metcalf, did he unfollow the Seahawks? Let's see. Did he? No way. There's no way. Ain't no way he unfollowed him. This can't be. This can't be. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, DK Metcalf's not following the Seattle Seahawks on Instagram. Wow. You gotta love it, man. You got to love it. That is classic. He's following Talanoa Hufanga, George Kittle, but he's not following the 49ers. Ooh. Or not the Seahawks. He's not following the Seahawks, but he's following Talanoa Hufanga and George Kittle. I love it, man. That is classic. That's good stuff. I love it. That is so funny to me. Wow. Oh, man. You got to love this. You got to love the 49ers dominating Seattle, because for many years, the 49ers couldn't beat Seattle, and it was frustrating. It was infuriating. 5-0 against the Seahawks in the last 5 games. They've beat them 5 straight games. It's great. It's finally nice to be on the winning side of this rivalry. And, I remember the days where the 49ers were getting punked by them. So it's nice to be on the, winning side of things. So Team Cali says DK wants out of Seattle. DK is going to demand for a trade. Can you imagine? He's pissed. Maybe he should come to the Niners. That man has emotional distress, man. This guy is a drama king. His pictures are looking good though on Instagram. At least he has nice pictures. Look at good aesthetic. He makes for good pictures. I like the aesthetic. Cool picture, but he got washed. He got washed out yesterday. Oh man, love it, love it, love it. Gotta love it. Victory Monday is always a great day. Number one seed in the NFC, 49ers, taking care of business, man. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Couple other things let's bring up here as we round out the day. We talked about Brock Purdy and how amazing he is. We gave you all the updates. Another cool little tidbit we saw today is that Christian McCaffrey has his gloves and his shoes, his cleats that he wore on Thanksgiving in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So he joined Randy Moss as the only players in NFL history with 16 or more scrimmage touchdowns in a season with two different teams. That's crazy. So only Randy Moss and Christian McCaffrey have scored at least 16 or more touchdowns from scrimmage in a season with two different teams. And those gloves and cleats that he wore against Seattle in the night that he did it were placed in the NFL Hall of Fame. Man, Christian McCaffrey's so good. You got to love this guy. It's amazing that he's on the 49ers. It's just amazing that he's on the team and how hard he plays and how hard he works. Great player, great weapon on this team, a great running back. He's, man, everything we've been searching for in a running back for years, and it's so fun. It's so great to have this man on the team. A Boogie says, I expect Debo's gloves and cleats next. Yeah, actually, you're right, because he set a record last night. He has the most rushing touchdowns of a wide receiver in NFL history. In NFL history, dude, like that's a stat that I don't think people understand enough. Like that is so crazy to me that he has that stat. It's amazing. He's played in the league since 2019, and he has 19 career rushing touchdowns, most in NFL history by a wide receiver. He truly is a wide back. He's the best wide back. That's why he got paid the what money he did. He had his own position. He's the most versatile wide receiver in the league, and you can't tell me otherwise. Like Debo Samuel is unbelievable, man. That's cool, dude. Team Cali says, having CMC change the atmosphere of the 49ers, that guy's a complete weapon. Myth5 says CMC literally moves like an AI. It's unreal. Both of those guys are just surreal, man. Andrew Lopez has 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games for Debo. Yeah, it's crazy how good both of these guys. And now that they're finally healthy, we see how good this offense. I remember when we signed CMC last year, we were like, oh my God, Debo and CMC, it's going to be magical. And finally, we get to see these two healthy next to each other. And it has truly been a magical. And, you got to love it. Absolutely love this. And again, 49ers, man, just taking care of business. And every week has been fun by this offense. This offense is scoring 30 points. They don't score less than 20 usually. For the most part, you see them scoring like 28, 30, 32, 30, 42 sometimes. This team is scoring at a high clip. It's fun, man. When you have all these weapons, it's like, yeah, man, let's go. Oh, boom, Debo. Oh, boom, Ayuk. Boom, Kittle. Oh, CMC. I remember when I was younger watching this team, it was like touchdown, fest, scoring a lot. Jerry Rice gets the ball. Ricky Waters gets the ball. Brett Jones gets the ball. Steve Young's diming it up. And it just reminds me of those younger days when I was watching this team and scoring. And there wasn't a worry in the world. This team has a great chance of winning. So fun stuff, man. Susan says, I know it's early, but it'll be a tragedy if we don't take it all this season. No, don't throw that out there. I hope we do too. 1 week at a time, though, Susan. We cannot get just got to worry about what's in front of us at this point. So Dodger says, can I get an autograph? I'll send it to you. Send me your address, or I'll come in. If you see me at a game, we'll sign something up for you. But yeah, man, exciting times. The 49ers, first place in NFC. Good news overall in the injuries. Jason Verrett is back. The 49ers are cooking. And the last 2 updates of the day that we want to talk about is Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy were both nominated for another FedEx award. Go figure. Every single week, the 49ers are nominated for awards. Might as well just give us every single award at this point. Brock Purdy was nominated for the FedEx Air Player of the Week, and Christian McCaffrey was nominated for the FedEx Ground Player of the Week. So both of those guys are nominated. Go vote. We posted the link in the Instagram story. Also, if you go on the Twitter NFL site, they have the little voting option, or you can go to NFL.com. Make sure we vote for Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey so they can keep on winning the accolades. And at the end of the season, if they don't win an award, we can pull up the receipts and say, hey, look, NFL, you're stupid. So let's keep voting for these guys. They deserve it. And, it's amazing to see both of these young men dominating and leading this team to victory. Both of them are MVP candidates. I think Christian McCaffrey has a good chance of winning Offensive Player of the Year, but sadly, I think Tyreek Hill will win it if he continues his blistering pace and he passes Calvin Johnson and he beats his receiving record. They'll probably give Offensive Player of the Year to Tyreek Hill. I mean, I wouldn't argue it because Christian McCaffrey, as good as he's been, I guess Tyreek Hill breaking that record from Calvin Johnson, it's going to weigh a little bit heavier for the voters. But Christian McCaffrey's touchdown rate is crazy. His yards from scrimmage is amazing. I kind of was the one time I was upset that Christian McCaffrey didn't score a touchdown was yesterday. Usually I'm like, whatever. He's been carrying it up. But honestly, I did wish that he scored a touchdown yesterday because in the end, when it gets to voting for Offensive Player of the Year, they'll probably use that against him. The more touchdowns he has, the better chance he has to strengthen his argument. But again, it is what it is. Both of them are playing great. MVP Brock Purdy and MVP Christian McCaffrey. Both of them are good. I'm happy they're on the team. So let's go. El Campa says, I'm going to put your blast out here and bake page on blast out here. Let's go, baby. Keep putting the vibes out there. Keep supporting. I appreciate you, my man. Me and you, we go back. So thank you for the support and everybody that supports the page. So appreciate you guys. Much love, much respect. And with that, Victory Monday comes to a wrap up here on this show. We'll be back as we always are later, maybe on Instagram or on YouTube. We'll see. But we will probably come back on Instagram. We'll take a little break. You guys have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of the week. It's Victory Monday. More content to follow. Definitely check it out live tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm not sure. I will be flying over to Arizona, and I'll be in Arizona for the Arizona 49ers game on Sunday. So excited to see that. And let's hope that the 49ers continue to cook the birds and get more victories. You guys have a good rest of your night. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And, tell your friends RSF 49ers is on YouTube. And we're doing the damn thing. So appreciate you guys. Have a good rest of your night. Love you. Bang, bang. Niner gang.